Happy Sunday, everybody. We are back yet again, continuing off from yesterday with the NACE final showdown qualifier. Is going to be the St. Clair Saints taking on Boise State University in our first best of three today. They had a pretty good run yesterday, did the boys, but the competition is going to ramp up on this Sunday, and they're going to have to work it out for them today.
Absolutely. After a very strong start to these qualifiers yesterday, we went 6-0, didn't drop a single map. In fact, we dropped a single point over the course of the games. So, it was an amazing day yesterday, but the competition today is certainly going to be on a completely different level compared to the teams we faced off yesterday. With our first match going to be against Boise State. For any fans of Overwatch Collegiate, Boise State is a name you'll certainly recognize. They have a few very big names on that team, and they've performed very well in tournaments of the past. So Saints are going to be up against some pretty solid competition here.
Yeah, Boise is a name we're all very, very familiar with here at St. Clair. They have, I think, they have a really good Rocket League team, very good in Overwatch. They're very prominent in a lot of the titles, and I think Boise State also, they came in as the 6th seed, or the 7th seed, I believe. So the seeding now, we're starting to get closer and closer as the games are going on here, though. The competition's starting to get a little tighter, and Boise State also undefeated yesterday. I'm not sure if they went as far as not dropping only 1 point like we did, but you have 2 undefeated teams coming into today, single elimination, so both teams gonna have to be ready. And hopefully St. Clair, I'm assuming, we don't know for sure, I'm assuming it'll be a Lee Jang Tower start again, so hopefully the St. Clair can go back to that dive and that brawl and pick up where they left off.
For sure, yeah. Just a quick reminder for anyone who's unaware, the way the map system works is it's going to be a coin flip pick for first map, and then from there it'll be a loser's pick. So first map, kind of up in the air at the moment, but from there we'll have to see how it goes. We saw some interesting stuff last night in that a lot of the teams St. Clair was playing against, once they lost that first map, they used their map pick to pick things that kind of played right into St. Clair's hands.
Yeah.
And I think when we look at the game today, I doubt that's something we're going to see. Boise State, I think it's safe to assume that they have a lot more experience under their belt.
Yeah.
They have probably some more fleshed out strategies, and I think that if they do end up losing that first map, they're going to be looking for ways that they can flip the script on St. Clair rather than playing into their hands.
Yeah, Boise's definitely a team that they're going to be able to make those adjustments. They have, they have good intel. They have really good scrims. We know that they're able to make adjustments on the fly. They've obviously played extremely well through the tournament this far. They haven't dropped any maps either, and I'm assuming they probably haven't dropped many points either because of the matches we were looking at earlier. They look like they've been pretty dominant so far in their run. So definitely going to be a very, very strong matchup. And what do you think? I don't want to say like a key point for the Saints to work on, but what do you think the thing that will carry the Saints through today? Maybe that they took from yesterday, or that like they want to look out for today as far as like maybe agent picks again or hero picks, or like what kind of strategy they want to go with?
Honestly, I think Saints did a very good job yesterday of like, even though they were facing off like some maybe lower level opponents, they still did a great job of not really like not kind of looking down on them, and they still played at their full potential. We still saw some very good comp choices come out. We still saw very good hero picks, hero swaps, counter picks, stuff like that. Pretty much the only time that we saw like kind of non-meta composition was on that last fight at King's Row that we saw the other day when we ended up seeing a Zarya Doomfist. But even then, Zarya and Doomfist still have a lot of synergy with each other. So you could definitely kind of see what the thought process was for our Saints when they were kind of going with that. But for today, I think so long as they continue to like pull out these solid strategies, keep the tried and true stuff. Don't try to innovate just for the sake of innovation. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Just stick to what you know, play it well, play it better than your opponents, and I'm sure they'll do fine.
Yeah, and assuming we're going off based on the same info yesterday, I think it's going to be Control, Hybrid, and Escort, and we haven't actually seen an Escort played yet, I think between Boise and St. Clair. So what are some heroes that you might want to look out for if we're going to end up in that Escort game mode? Or what do you think is, because we know the Brawl and the Dive works obviously for Control and then Hybrid as well, but what do you think for Escort, the Saints? What kind of a comp we think they might put together? Obviously map dependent and the other team choices dependent as well, but what do you think what kind of look do you think they want to go for, maybe if it goes to that map 3, which I honestly suspect it probably will.
For Escort, I can definitely see a resurgence in double shield. Typically escorts, just due to the nature of the map, you're escorting a cart along like these streets trying to get it to its final destination, right? And typically that lends itself to having a lot of like long sight lines, a lot of large open spaces, places where spam comps, which double shield is, can really like shine, right? Because double shield is all about putting out a ton of damage at a very long distance, trying to find those long range picks and stuff, right? And so that's something that I think we have a very high chance of seeing if we do go to those escort maps, as well as like a ball comps using like that tracer. I think we did see a little bit of it last night, not too much. But on escort, they are also very, very strong because it allows you to kind of like get behind the defenders and sort of minimize the defender's advantage that is present on escort maps.
Yeah, especially and having that ball, just you're trying to play time, you're trying to kill the clock at that point, especially when you're on that precipice of either overtime or getting that time bonus. You want to just try to extend the play as long as possible. And we saw yesterday, St. Clair did such a good job. I think the biggest key for yesterday was they were finding solo picks early in fights, and once they found one of those solo picks, they would immediately be like, okay, we need to take the space that's given now. We need to like try to make a play off of it. But I think the solo picks are going to be a little bit harder to come by today. So if they're not able to find those solo picks and win those early engagements, what kind of setup or what kind of thing do you think they could do to maybe try to like swing a fight in their favor, assuming that the fight doesn't really they don't win the fight in the first 15-20 seconds?
For sure. Honestly, I think one thing that we'll really have to be looking at today is the Saints backline. Yesterday, we didn't really see like too much pressure on the Saints backline just due to like how strong our DPS were able to be. They were able to like find so many opening picks, find so many like picks just out of nowhere in the middle of the lost fights. Today, I think it'll be a lot harder for them to do that because Boise State, their DPS, they should be much more capable of handling like that 1v1, right? So I think it's going to be a lot on Red X and Argent. They're going to have to make sure that they're staying alive, that they're playing a little safe, and they're making sure that they can support their DPS and their tanks in order to like make sure that they can still reach their maximum effectiveness in these engagements.
Yeah, and that's the thing with support. The thing is, you might not call their name, but sometimes not calling their name just means they're quietly doing their job and nothing's really going wrong. So we're going to have to look for them to they might have to make a couple more plays today, especially because, as you said, the backline, it held strong really, really well the entire day yesterday. But if they start to get like little adversity on that backline, if they lose one of the supports early in the fight, they're going to have to try to find some way to maybe try to make a play. And what supports do you think give you the best, like, I want to say, I guess, agency? Like, if they realize, hey, our backline's not maybe holding as well, is there a support pick they can go to maybe like, okay, this is more of an aggressive pick, maybe a little more damage sided, or we can like, try to bring the support closer to like that front line and try to make a different play?
Yeah, well, one thing that I love about the Saints backline that we've seen so far this year is that we have a lot of flexibility. Like, I know in our double shield comps, we actually see Red X, who is our main support player. He'll play the Mercy, the Brig, the Lucio. He can actually flex over to the Zenyatta and use that in conjunction with the Baptiste in order to have a really, really high damage output within those double shield comps. So if they need to try and catch Boise off guard, I could definitely see them pulling that out because, very few teams are going to, like, unless they've done a great job scouting us, they're going to be very surprised if they suddenly see our main support player swap over to a double flex support setup, right? And the fact that we're capable of playing that very well is definitely going to be a huge boon for us.
Yeah. Oh, we're actually not going to see Li Jiang on the first map here, so we're going to see a little bit of a wrinkle finally.
Yeah, it does look like we are going to have Nepal for our first map. Nepal is it's a map that we talked a bit about yesterday. We have 3 very distinct points, each with very distinct play styles able to be run on them. And it looks like the first point that we're going to be on is going to be Nepal Sanctum. Now, Sanctum, of course, is that map that has that large open pit on the one side of the point. So environmental kills, if you can rely on those, they can be pretty much game-changing.
Yeah.
And it looks like our Saints are going to be starting on a double shield comp, kind of like we were talking about, using a DPS line of Hanzo and Ashe, and then we have a support line with Red X and Arjun on the Break Baptiste.
Yeah, totally different ideas for both teams to start things off with. Just off the first look, totally different hero select to start the game pretty much.
Yeah, Boise State, they're going to be opting for that ball comp. So it's like we said, when it comes to long sight lines, you can either play to get around them, speed around those long sight lines, or you can play to take mad advantage of them. And it does look like Matt Merck's on that ball. He's going to be seeing if he can find a boop off, but not quite able to do it. And now St. Clair, they're doing a great job of holding this space, seeing if they can find some damage using that Hanzo using pulls. Boise, they're going to start pressuring on point here, but if you're Saints, you're perfectly happy with this because you can just sit right there, keep spamming down, put out all that damage, and Matt Merck does get taken out. Now St. Clair, they're pushing this through, using that as a go button, pushing straight into the core of Boise State. Boise State, they don't have the sustain, and they just end up getting shredded. The point does get flipped, but St. Clair, they're still getting all the numbers up right now. They're going to be quickly moving back onto the point and able to retake this by the looks of it.
Yeah, they're more than happy to sack that point for 7-8%. They're going to easily able to get it back, and by the time Boise gets a full reset, they'll be evened up a percentage anyways. And St. Clair, once again, once they get that frontline pressure, they just seem to like put their foot in the ground, dig their heels in, and say, we're not going to back off here, just as we can see again. Trying to hold Boise State in the spawn as best as possible. Just Sigma, constant pressure. We saw having a risk, especially just hunker down, go gold backline or frontline, try to stop everything. Once again, Matt Merck on the ball, going to be just touching up on the point there, trying to maybe distract St. Clair a bit. But St. Clair so far still holding this front line phenomenally well. Hyun is going to find the kill on Plato as well. So St. Clair just doing such a good job using the immortality fields, having good spacing, and just keeping Boise on that back foot. Clair trying to get the point alone, but not a lot of where to go, and he is going to fall there. So St. Clair, just great job so far.
Oh, A really nice
Wow.
pull through from Matt Merck and actually knocks Arjunk off. And Plato actually used the Bob really early in order to open that. That's what ended up getting taken down there. And so it meant that Boise State was still in a 66 position. And they managed to get so many ults out of St. Clair that when they pushed back from the point, they had some good ults that they could use to counterattack. And it looked like they were able to get that cap with some nice roll throughs from Matt Merck just to displace and really disrupt the Saints. But now St. Clair, they're going to be coming back, and they have 5 ults of their own that's going to be online here. Whereas Boise State, they're going to have the Rally, a Pulse, and Matt Merck might be able to get those mines as well as the Gravitic Flux is online. But St. Clair, they do have a bit of an advantage here. We'll have to see if they can find that opening pick. The Flux coming out early doesn't look like it's going to find much. It does force out the Lamp, and Plato's actually able to take out Crime. So St. Clair, down a member, looks like they might be backing out here. Just play this safe and wait until they can regain full strength.
Yeah, and Maxwell has been very, very solid on this backline tracer so far. He's been getting that constant tick damage, just that constant thorn on the same side. Sticky Bomb is going to come and find the kill on Red X as well. Amarin is going to get the trade out on Chosen, so going to be a 1-for-1 there. Rally is going to come out. Will they get value? Hanya is going to find the kill. St. Clair getting a lot of damage done to them. They are going to fall. 3 are going to fall for the side of the Saints, and Boise State weathering the storm there from St. Clair, and so far holding serve on this point.
Yeah, really well done from Boise State there. You saw how early they used those ults, and using those ults, even though the ults themselves didn't get too much value, Plato and Moxel, they were both able to just go around and find a lot of angles in order to deal damage, and that's really where the picks started coming in from. And now St. Clair, we're getting pretty much into last fight territory here. They do have some more ults online, and Boise State, they don't really have much of anything. They have that Bob, and the Bob gets used very early here. We'll see if St. Clair tries to shred it. Oh, it actually gets booped off the map. A nice whip shot from Red X there is going to take care of that Bob, and this might be the chance that St. Clair needs in order to go in. Clear is able to take out Squeak though, so now St. Clair without that main tank, they're going to be having a little bit of trouble pushing in here. Moxel is able to take out Emran there on the back line, and unfortunately Matt Merck takes out Arjun as well. The overtime is ticking down. St. Clair seeing if they can put members onto that point, trying to keep it alive, but unfortunately Boise State, they have just too many members alive, and they're able to find all the picks. Squeak back on that ball, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to find much of anything. Just trying to get some last minute stall, but does finally get taken out. A really solid opening point here from Boise State.
Yeah, we saw it. That was a really, really good back and forth. St. Clair, they started things off pretty hot. They were able to hold that spawn for a while, but then as we said, Boise State, we thought the early ultimate was maybe not bad, but it's like a little bit off like putting or a little bit weird. And then it's like, you use the early ultimate, you create a lot of space on the point, and what they did was they almost like staggered their capture. They had someone fill like half of the bar. They had a second player keep touching it and make sure they kept progress, and then they eventually sent the full wave of people on. So instant capture, able to take the point back from the Saints, and then really good job of just getting those staggered picks, not really letting St. Clair make any group plays, and also, like you said, forcing the ultimates out of St. Clair in that early spawn room where they can't really get any true value on the point, and then just like that, Boise gonna run that thing up to 100.
For sure, yeah. And it's, you know, those like comp differences that we talked about are really coming to shine here in this match. In that first map alone, we saw the double shield versus the ball comp, and now again, we're going to be seeing St. Clair opting for the ball comp. Well, Boise State, they're actually going to be opting for a rush ball comp, using that Reinhardt, using that Symmetra, and the Mei. They're going to be trying to bunker down on point. St. Clair should have the advantage here. With this Pharah, they should be able to deal a lot of damage, and Boise State, they don't really have anyone who can pressure out this Pharah other than D.Va, and that's exactly what Clear's going to do. He's going to go up, see if he can put some pressure on this D.Va, but meanwhile, Emran, he's fine. He's going to just kind of kite back, and that, ooh, Boise State with a really nice rush, they go out and they take out Yun. A nice chance from them. They found that isolation and they were able to make the most of it. That was really well done from them. But St. Clair, they're making the most of their opportunity as well. They see if they can go in, take some place here on this point. Ooh, Squeak ends up getting pinned there. A nice pin from Matt Merck. Is it going to be enough? St. Clair is getting really close to some ults here. Emran almost has that barrage online, and neither team has really started tapping here quite yet. See, the Mei wall is coming up, seeing if they can deny a bit of that damage, but Boise is able to take first flip.
You can see how good both of these teams are in this back and forth, not giving an inch. Pharah is going to come and going to find 2 kills, so Emran maybe going to clear some space for the Saints. They possibly might have a play on the point here. Third kill is going to find through. Red X is going to fall to Matt Merck, though, and now Saints not able to get the point quite yet. Boise still getting this progress. The Saints did find a couple picks, but now Boise State just answering back in their own way and just still holding serve on that point. The Saints, they couldn't really get that 5 or that 6 stack, so they got 1 or 2 picks, but they were more of those isolated picks where you can't really do anything too much. They can't really do anything with it, especially when both tanks are still alive. So Boise State right now just doing an excellent job of keeping the Saints at bay.
That's some nice shots there coming out from Plato. Forces Crime away onto that health back. Another wall has come out onto Kyun, trying to isolate him. Fortunately, the rush from Boise isn't quite there this time. Kyun is able to get out with his life, and they actually forced the ice block come from Moxel there, as well as the Diva Bomb and the Sound Barrier. Boise is using a lot of ults to try and commit to this, and it looks like it might pay off. Chosen is able to take out Red X in the air, and Plato takes out Squeak. St. Clair down 2 members now with Boise State. Their health bars are getting a little low, but they haven't lost anyone quite yet. As I say that, Emran is able to take out Matt Murph, and Clair actually goes off the map. Boise State have no tanks at the moment now, and Hyun goes in, uses that Gravitic Flux, and is able to find one, finds a second now, and Emran uses that Rock Barrage in order to just clean up on the point. St. Clair finally able to get the picks they need, and it looks like the point will finally be flicked back their way.
Yeah, they're finally able to combo ultimates together, combo utility, the Gravity Flux plus Emran raining down from the skies, able to, like you said, get those early picks on the tanks, take out one of the supports, and then Boise State's front line and their back line is shattered. And St. Clair, they do a really, really good job of exploiting when those man advantages show, and great job to get back on the point there. Boise State got a decent amount of progress up to 64, but if you're the Saints, you're certainly not out of the game. You have to make 1 or 2 really good stands, but Boise State, Shatter is going to come through. Not sure how much it's going to find there. Is going to find a kill on Arjun, so huge Shatter from Matt Mark, going to help to clear the point off. Going to go for the charge as well, but Boise State looks like they may have slight control of the point for the time being, but High Noon is going to come through as well. The Deadeye, seeing if he can find any value. Just 1 second left to see if he can find anything. Is going to find the kill on Red X, so massive kill on the Mercy, and then Crime's going to fall as well, and Boise State will more than likely roll off this point.
Yeah, you could see Boise State. They knew that given St. Clair's comp, it's going to be hard to find a bunch of people together, right? You're not going to be able to get a huge team kill with those ults, but you don't really need a team kill. All you got to do, you use the Shatter on the Ana, take the Ana out, you use the Deadeye to take out one of those flyers, and from there you have such a numbers advantage that you'll just be able to keep the snowball going, right? But now, St. Clair, once again, they have their ults online. Emran has that barrage. He's been doing a great job building it, and Squeak is going to have the minefield as well. He goes in, uses it here, finds a nice slam, and we'll see if it's able to... It's doing a lot of damage right now, and it actually is able to find the value it needs. Emran follows up with that barrage, takes out one, and now St. Clair, it looks like they're just going to collapse onto this point, start swarming, focusing these targets, and yeah, Boise State looks like they're not going to be able to hold on to this. Seeing if they can get a bit more stall. Ooh, Arjun goes for the sleep. Does get blocked, but yeah, St. Clair once again in solid control at this point, and only really needing the 2 ults to use it. That was really good for them.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think that St. Clair is going to have to play off of Emran and keep him alive as long as possible, because now Plato being on the Cassidy and Clear, we saw he was going to be that fly swatter for the side of Boise State. Emran has been a core chunk of the DPS. Crime not able to fully get online yet, but Sticky Bomb in the back pocket. The Mercy Res is online, and the Ana, the Nano as well. So St. Clair has a lot of possibilities to make a lot of plays here, but they're going to have to try to get this to at least, I want to say at least 75 or 80 before Boise's going to have a really, really good push, and there's going to be a lot of ultimates coming across the screen shortly.
Yeah, a nice anti-nade from Arjun does slow them down a bit, but ooh, a rush onto Hyun.
Wow.
Such nice speed there coming out from Boise State. They find that pick up, lightning speed, and now St. Clair, they're going to be a little bit on the back foot. The beat does get forced out. Arjun still on the high ground, throws in a nice nade, but is it going to be able to find anything? Follow up, not quite there. Matt Merck does use a Shatter, finds 2 off the back of that, and now it looks like Boise are solidly in control of this. Arjun gets up onto the point, but unfortunately, it's a team kill for Boise, as they are going to take the first map in a 2-0 fashion.
Yeah, Saints finally being pushed to the limit. Boise State, phenomenal game plan there. Here's the thing we finally saw. We saw massive differences in the choices of hero selection, what kind of strategy they wanted to implement, what kind of play they wanted to make, and Boise State seemingly had the answer for St. Clair there. St. Clair battled back hard there, backpacking on that Farah, getting a lot of damage in there, making a couple good plays, but Boise State ultimately, they found such good value out of almost every single ultimate. It just felt like every time there was an ultimate, it did exactly what it was supposed to, and St. Clair just wasn't able to recover fully for those fights.
For sure, yeah. You know, there's like a big stigma in the Overwatch community when it comes to like solo ulting, right? Like, it's generally seen as like kind of BM in order to use a whole ultimate just to kill one person. But, you know, when it comes to the level that these guys are playing at, killing one person is the difference between winning and losing a game, right? So, Boise State, they did a really good job of identifying that. And you also got to give them huge props for always finding these opportunities to use the speed boost and the mobility of their comp.
Yeah, they W-keyed.
Yeah, like they identified, okay, on their team, we can't really kill the Farah. We can't really kill the Mercy. Tracer's always going to survive. Ball is also going to roll out. So we got to go for the Ana or the Sigma, right? Ana's always going to be on high ground. The Sigma, he's kind of that anchor there on point. Boise State recognizes that. And so they're like, okay, we're going to put a wall up behind him. We're going to throw flashbangs at him. We're going to throw speed, lamp. We're going to do everything we can. And we're just going to rush him. And we're going to delete him from the server, right? Boise State, they did that. Like, it seemed like pretty much every fight they won, that was their game plan there. And it ended up working well, because once you don't have that Sigma, then it's really, really hard for St. Clair to actually contest that point, because you don't want to send your pharmacy to do it. Tracer, she doesn't really have the health pool to do it. And Ball, you know, he can swing around, he can stall it a good bit, but like at the end of the day, he's just going to be feeding Ultrarge with that big health pool, right? And yeah, you're going to be sacrificing that damage. So once Boise is able to get that anchor off the point, then they can bunker down on point, and then St. Clair has to re-break it.
Yeah.
And eventually, if Boise State is able to just keep building up that percentage, they are going to win, and that's exactly what we saw happen here.
And I think that was the biggest wrinkle that Boise State had, that St. Clair hadn't seen that look once. It caught us off guard from the beginning of the first point on the first area there. They were ready to rush in, and they were like, okay, we're going to commit to like a 4 or 5 man push. And on the second point there on the outdoor map, the outdoor area, they immediately, as soon as they got even a little, they took the first front half of that staircase, they immediately ran St. Clair back into the spawn. And no one had really done that to St. Clair the last couple games. St. Clair was usually the one putting that front pressure on, putting the foot forward and trying to be like, okay, we're going to push you guys back into the spawn. We're going to gain control of this space, and we're going to try to operate within it. But Boise State just completely flipped the script, and they hit St. Clair with a little Uno reverse card there.
Yeah, and despite skill levels being very comparable, I think that's where we're seeing like just the experience that Boise State has. Like Boise State has been playing at this high level for a lot longer than St. Clair has. St. Clair has only like really started playing at this level like in the past couple years. Boise State have been there for a while longer. These players have been together for a lot longer as well, right? And you can just tell in their synergy that they're really making the most of that. Now we are going to be going to our next map here in just a bit. It is the Saints pick for map, and we're actually going to be going to Kings Row. Now,
good choice.
Yeah, I can't say this is too surprising given how well Saints played on the map yesterday, right?
And maybe they want to get back to more of that brawl and that dive comp. Just go back to go back to the basics, so to speak, in their terms, because I think that's definitely like maybe their comfort pick or the thing they play best on, because we can clearly see they were very, very comfortable against the other teams. And obviously, as we said, Boise State, they're probably going to have a pretty good answer for St. Clair's map pick here. And especially anyone playing the Saints in any high-level tournament, you're going to know that this is a map you're going to be like keying in on. Like, we're going to play this map at some point, especially if we can't ban it out. So we're going to see them here at some point. So I'm curious to see, especially last time, we saw a totally different hero select. So I'd be really curious to see if there's any other wrinkles that Boise State tries to add as well, or St. Clair, St. Clair, I suspect they'll play pretty standard or pretty similar to what we saw yesterday as well.
For sure, yeah. I think St. Clair is kind of hoping to play into the mirror here. Like, we did see Boise, they did pick the brawl on Shrine, and Brawl, while it can work on Shrine, it's typically you do see that Brawl comp. So the fact that Boise picked that Brawl comp, kind of that shows me that they like leaning into Brawl. Yeah. And so you go to a map like Kings Row where Brawl is very much favored. I think like that's St. Clair saying, all right, you want to play Brawl? We're pretty confident that we can beat you in the Brawl, because we didn't actually see them take a straight up Brawl 1v1 fight on Nepal there, right?
Yeah, true.
So St. Clair, they're gonna probably try and force that look, and we'll see how they end up performing.
Yeah, I think the one thing they have to do again is say we saw really, really good from Emran there. Just Crime didn't feel like he could really get his footing in that game. Maybe the Tracer wasn't the greatest pick, but there's no way to really get him online. And we saw when St. Clair, when the DPS is flowing and the support just stays alive on that backline, they do such a good job. And we saw there, when the backline starts to get picked apart, we saw, as you said, even though the solo ulti is technically, I'd say, BM, but if you're able to take out Ana with a Shatter, and then you're able to take out, use the Deadeye to take out Mercy as well, you're pretty much crippling the entire side of St. Clair. So Boise State, knowing who to pick, when to pick them, and with what utility. And so far, St. Clair now they try to answer back. This is definitely going to be their map pick, probably out of the entire game. If they could choose, they'd go here. So have to be ready to answer now, or it's going to be it'll be a 2-0.
Absolutely. St. Clair going to be up here on the defense first up, and actually right away, Boise State, it looks like they're not going to be playing into St. Clair's hands, or it looks like they might be. Okay, they started on the ball comp,
switched,
but a quick switch comes through there, and it's exactly what we expected. It is going to be the Brawl 1v or the Brawl mirror matchup. So St. Clair, looks like this is exactly what they wanted. They're getting their wish and want to see how they through. A quick rush through comes in through Hotel. They're seeing if they can find an isolation. Maywall's coming out from both sides, as well as the lamp forced out from the side of Boise. Matt Murk right up there in that front line, swinging the hammer, seeing if he can put down that damage. The later lamp coming out from the side of St. Clair is going to give him a bit more sustain, and Archunk is finally able to take out Matt Murk. Now St. Clair, they're going to have a bit of an advantage, but Plato goes over flank around the statue and is able to take out Hyun. Squeak goes down as well, and now Boise State, they've actually got the upper hand. The flank from the DPS there on the side of Boise was able to find value, and St. Clair looks like they might be in dire straits here on this first point.
Yeah, and once again, Boise State immediately bringing the fight to St. Clair. They go, like you said, backside through Hotel immediately, and then as soon as they get the flip on the side there, Plato immediately goes on the flank, lands 6-7 shots in a row, able to find a kill or two as well, and then Clair able to get in there and just help get everybody else out of the way. And Boise State right away picking up where they left off on map 1.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there for St. Clair. Like, even though looking at their cooldowns, you would think they had an advantage. They were able to get the later lamp and stuff, but they just weren't ready for that flank. And unfortunately, Hyun getting demeched a little early meant that he couldn't really mark Plato the way he would have wanted to, I'm sure. And now Boise State, they're looking in a very good spot. Just looking at the ultimates they have, they've got that Deadeye, they're very close to the mailed, and they have the BAP window as well. Whereas St. Clair, they really only have the BAP window of their own, whereas Emeren might be able to get this Blizzard online, but we'll have to see. Early window comes out, and a nice wall to isolate Matt Merck. We'll see if they can take him out. Lamps from both sides, as well as the windows, and now the mail from Moxel is going to be coming out as well. Squeak uses the Shatter, and it's able to find a little, but no kills are going to come off of it. And once again, St. Clair are on the back foot. They're getting rolled over by Boise State as Boise runs forward. Just nothing stopping them in their path. Didn't even lose a member. A very solid team kill coming out from Boise State.
Yeah, that was just clean work out of Boise State. Plato finding 3 picks without even having to burn the Deadeye. Matt Merck not even needing to burn the Shatter. Only used, I think, 1 or 2 ultimates to commit that entire fight, in Boise State just finding a way to completely wipe St. Clair. And unless something crazy happens, they're going to get the second time bonus, and they're going to be in the slash right. Deadeye is going to get popped, going to try to find something, going to get shield blocked. This, unfortunately for the Saints, no big damage coming through from there, but Shatter is going to come. They're going to find 3 or 4 members of the Saints, and Boise State should get a little bit of push here, but not quite yet. Saints going to hold that line for the time being, but the beat is going to come through. Both teams fighting back and forth. No one giving an inch so far. Clair is going to get demeched. But looks like Marcel fall as well. Saints do end up actually being on the bright side of this fight, somehow, some way, surviving all those ultimates.
Yeah, it looks like St. Clair are finally able to get the value they needed from those ultimates. The Shatter from Matt Merck was huge, but unfortunately there wasn't quite enough follow-up, so everyone from St. Clair managed living through that, and then the beat from Red X gave St. Clair all the sustain they needed. Boise State is still choosing to keep fighting this. In fact, Matt Merck going so far as to swap to a ball in order to see if he can get back to point to continue fighting this. Plato is able to take out Red X, but finally gets taken out by Hyun, and Crime gets a DMEC onto Clair. But Boise State, they are very, very dedicated. They really do not want to lose this point. Hyun is able to take out his counterpart there, the other Diva going down, and still going for the Lucio as well. Despite all Boise State's effort, it does look like St. Clair finally have found their footing. They're finally going to be able to hold on to this. Boise State is at last going to be forced back, and St. Clair finally have a bit of respite.
Yes.
Finally take a moment to breathe.
Yeah, and especially in that, the one thing for Boise State, though, that archway is probably the hardest choke point of this entire map to get that payload through. So if you're St. Clair, it is critical that you held that line for the time being. You want to burn at least 20-30 seconds. Deadeye for Plato pop. Fantastic Maywall to block off for the time being, and the shield block. So great job by St. Clair just to start neutralizing these ultimates, get the value down, and now Boise gonna fly. Crime with a Deadeye of his own, gonna find a pick on Chosen, so massive pick on the back line. Emeren Clair gonna be almost demeched as well. He will be demeched there. Squeak gonna land the fire strike. So Saints once again surviving those ultimates, holding strong, finding the picks, and pushing Boise back for the time being.
Yeah. Nice job from Boise there to they went in really quick. Like, as soon as they had 6, we saw Matt Merck roll through on the high ground, immediately went for an engage in order to try and support Plato with that Deadeye. But unfortunately there we kind of saw like the kind of issue that we have with like the comp that Boise State seems to be sticking to, is that this hybrid ball brawl comp just isn't, you're kind of trying to accomplish 2 separate things, and you're limiting your effectiveness at both of them. Like, Matt Merck dives in here, but he's already getting pressured out, almost getting frozen, and now Emeren is going to be using that Blizzard just to try and force Boise back, and it's exactly what we see. Crime takes out Plato. Huge. Boise State with the member down. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to keep engaging, and yeah, they back right out again. And I think we got to see a comp swap coming out from Boise here soon, because the ball goes in and he just gets frozen by M or flashed by Crime, right? And that means that he's not really able to like be that wall on the front line like Squeak is able to be for St. Clair.
I wouldn't be surprised if once Matt gets up to the front line again, he'll drop the landmines, maybe just play out his life and then go back for the swap. I think he's going to deploy the landmines there. Chosen has the wall as well.
He
Yeah,
gets killed immediately. That's exactly what we talk about,
pick.
right? There's just so much crowd control from the side of St. Clair that the ball, he's just like, he's not really allowed to get any value up on the field. He'll use his abilities,
There's the switch to the Rhine
but
now.
then that's about it. And yeah, finally we see the switch coming back onto the Rhine. Boise State staying on that ball maybe a little too long for their own good, but St. Clair, I'm sure they're going to be loving that, because they've been able to burn so much time off the clock here and put their ult economy into such a good state. Red X has the beat, Squeak going to be coming up on another Shatter, and Crime very close to that Deadeye.
And they blocked
as well.
this payload back a decent amount from where it was. It was right at the cusp before. Now Plato is going to pop the Deadeye, try to find the value. Huge kill from Matt Merck. Deadeye not going to find anything, but some of the Saints are going to fall for the time being. But luckily, as we said, the Saints were able to get not only hold the point.
A nice Shatter.
Huge, actually. Going to find a bunch of members. Plato going to find a headshot on Arjung. Maxwell going to fall to Hyun. So going for a 1-for-1 so far. Chosen going to find the kill on Squeak. couple members of the Saints are going to fall. Multiple Saints are falling, and Boise State finally might have that breakthrough they need to push this payload.
Yeah, St. Clair, they had the ult, but unfortunately, Boise State, they were able to find the picks in the neutral. Matt Merck went for a pin, I believe, there, which ended up taking out Crime. And, you know, that's one of the, it's kind of like, that's a bit of an X factor you have on Reinhardt, that charge, right? Like, if you hit any, like, target below 250 HP, it's usually going to be a one-shot.
Yeah.
You find some way to cancel it. And even though it can put your Reinhardt very out of position, it's high risk, high reward, and Matt Merck used it to the best of its ability and was able to find that quick pick, which put the fight into Boise State's favor. But now, a speed Deadeye coming out here from St. Clair. We know they like to use these to gain a bunch of space, and a really nice pick comes out from Squeak. They were able to take out Chosen. So that Deadeye forced all of Boise State back, and the tank line for St. Clair was able to find the isolated target, and they're able to find that pick, and now they're back holding on this corner. Arjun about to have a window here. Emran with a mailed, and Hyun has that Diva Bomb. Boise State, some good ults of their own, both DPS ults online, and Matt Merck just got that Shatter online. So it's going to be see what have to happen here. The Maywall is coming out from both sides. One blocks off St. Clair's back window, and a Shatter comes out. It is able to find a couple people, but the follow-up not quite there. Matt Merck going for another charge, and is able to take out Emran. Very unfortunate. But St. Clair, they do still have members online. They have solid health bars, but the Blizzard coming out from Moxel there is going to be exactly what Boise State needs. Crime's able to take out Moxel with that flash hammer, but it looks like Boise is still going to be able to keep moving this payload. However, St. Clair, they do have the spawn advantage now. They're going to be able to get one more fight here.
Yeah, the only thing is they do have the wall for the side of Boise State. St. Clair, 0 ultimates online right now. They're close to percentage-wise, but if they're not able to get a pick or two here, they're not going to end up winning this fight. Boise State definitely going to have the advantage. Bomb is going to come through, not find quite anything. Now St. Clair on Death's Door have to try to find some way to bite back. Squeak does have the Shatter in the back pocket. Thing to use it, not going to find anything. Going to get blocked out to the other Reinhardt. Going to go for the charge as well. Squeak will fall. Looks like the Saints frontline may be shattered now, and their hopes may be shattered as well. Looks like they may fall here. Clear. Diva Bomb is going to go on top of the payload, and Boise State looks like in all likelihood they should be able to push it once that ice pillar down. Shatter comes through as well, finds 3, and Matt Merck cleans up the rest, and Boise State should be taking map 2 here, at least for the time being.
Yeah, at this point, Boise State in a very good spot. St. Clair, they're so close to hitting that overtime now. You know that that's wall that's in their mind right now. They just want to keep stalling, see if they can get it to overtime. Winning the fight at this point is going to be a near impossible task, but if they can get that overtime, that'll put them in a good spot, and it does look like they're going to be able to. I don't know if they got it.
I don't know if maybe heard the voice line in my head.
I see 0-0 on the clock, so I think they just barely made it to that overtime.
Yeah, I think I may have heard her say overtime as the round ended, so we'll have to see obviously what it goes to.
That was incredibly close. Really nice job from Boise State there. Like, they kept the pressure up so long. Like, in fights that seemed like they should have been lost, they just kept the pressure going. They forced out so many resources, so many ults from Saints, and they made it really, really hard for them to ever stabilize. They just kept the pressure up the entire game, it seemed like. And St. Clair, they unfortunately just weren't able to find the same value when it came to using their equivalent ultimates.
Yeah, and this is a look that the Saints have not seen yet in this tournament, and I don't even think by a close shot. They have seen nobody use this like 5-6 stack pressure that Boise's been using. St. Clair, the way they were winning a lot of fights before, they're able to get those isolated picks, find someone sneaking on the back line, make a read on a play, draw those ultimates out earlier rather than later. In Boise State, they're not rushing any of these ultis, and even the ultis that aren't finding kills, the Deadeye is clearing a bunch of space, the Shatters are being used on key targets to end the game there, and Boise State so far, like you said, the pressure has been absolutely insane they've been putting on the Saints. St. Clair, they haven't been able to breathe for more than 15-20 seconds the entire round, so Boise, maybe I'm curious if Boise has a really aggressive defensive approach. I wonder if they're going to try to put equal pressure going the other way against the Saints, or if the Saints can somehow break through that front line.
Yeah, they definitely might. And looking at St. Clair on the attack right now, it seems like they, after what just happened, they might want to shy away. Oh no, it does look like they were just doing some early game shenanigans, but we'll have to see, does Hyun actually stick with the Zarya here? It does look okay, he's exited spawn. Looks like he wants to run the Zarya. This is going to be interesting, since Zarya generally seen as the inferior pick to the Diva. Diva has a lot more high ground control, and the ability to block damage using that defense matrix is very, very powerful. But it looks like Hyun, he wants to trade that utility just for raw damage using that high charge Zarya. We'll have to see how it works out for Saints. Right now, they're trying to get a rotation around the statue. The Maywall comes out, and it does get Squeak stuck there just a little bit, but not quite enough for them to find a kill. Squeak goes for a pin onto Matt Merck, is able to take him very low, but doesn't quite take him out. Unfortunately, trades his own life instead. Matt Merck comes back, takes out Emran with the Fire Strike, and now Boise are going to use this rush, run forward, and take out everyone on the side of Saints. Saints sent back to spawn. And we'll have to see if they decide to keep running the Zarya on the way back.
Yeah, so pretty similar to what I had predicted in the early. I thought Boise State might come out and be aggressive right away off the front foot because we saw how it works so well for them, even though they're on the offensive last time. Playing on defense, if you can get some right in someone's face and push them back, find those picks, you can easily create space for yourselves in that back line. And Boise State, phenomenal job of it so far. And the Saints have to find some way to get out of the spawn. Obviously, you have lots of time to play with, but Boise, you know, they end up completing the entire payload push. So St. Clair, they have to at least match that, and obviously in the time limit as well.
Yeah, and it looks like Saints are going to be going for a high ground rotation here. We'll see if they can get it, though. Boise doing their best to try and cut this off. And a nice shatter comes out from Matt Merck, who's going to lay down the supports, take out that lamp as well. And unfortunately, St. Clair, once again, it looks like this push has fallen flat. He on high charge, but it's not going to matter much when you're getting run over by a Reinhardt-Lucio combo. St. Clair, once again, gonna have to try and retake this point. It just they're not able to find, like, their strategies keep getting interrupted here by Boise State. They tried to go for that high ground rotation, but a wall came up, which kind of delayed it long enough.
Boise has 5 ults.
Yeah, Boise has an absolutely stacked ult table here right now. We'll have to see what St. Clair wants to do. Once again, the wall comes out, and actually a mail coming from behind. St. Clair not ready for that at all. Does force out the beat from Red X. We'll see if his team can live through it. The Squeak, the focus fire is too good. He gets taken out through the beat.
No one knows about Maxwell.
Once again in a 5v6. Crime does take out Bagel, though. They still haven't gotten Maxwell out, and Maxwell takes out Arjun before he finally leaves. Now, the spawn advantage for St. Clair is here. Boise State losing Bagel does mean they don't have that beat. So this might be St. Clair's chance to move in quick, see if they can get value. Squeak goes in super deep and gets taken out immediately. Not sure if that was quite the play they were looking for, but now the mail coming out from Emeren does find a few people, and it does look like Crime is going to be able to follow up on that, is able to find Plato, take out Chosen with that Deadeye, and now St. Clair looks like they're finally going to be able to maybe make something happen on this point. Crime finally taken out by Matt Merck, who follows up with a big shatter, and it is going to find people, and Clair as well finds 2 of his own. Boise, they, against the odds, they come back, they use the ult, and they are able to find the picks. St. Clair is still fighting this, though. Hyun, very high charge, has that Deadeye, shredding down the D.Va as well. D.Va finally demeched. Plato hitting some nice shots is going to force them out, and we actually see Crime is swapped to the Tracer to see if they can keep this fight going. But unfortunately, Boise State, they keep finding the picks.
Yep.
The health bars from St. Clair just too low to continue fighting that fight on point. And Boise State, once again, have the point logged down. The one silver lining for St. Clair here is that Clair does not have that D.Va mech. If they go for a quick push, they are going to be able to get a free Graviton Surge.
Yeah, that's the thing. Boise State.
Oh, the Graviton is good.
Oh.
We'll have to see. St. Clair running forward, seeing if they can find the picks off it. The lamp does come out, but it's not going to be quite enough. Matt Merck gets taken out by Arjun with the help of that window, and Redux is able to take out Moxel. St. Clair finally, after so many fights, they're finally able to get the picks without losing people on their own side. And it looks like this is going to be what they need in order to capture the point. A few people from Boise just continuing to stagger on. And it looks like that is the point capped for St. Clair.
And not a moment too soon. They only have 2 minutes and 50 seconds now to get all the way down to the final end of the payload there. They have a very long ways to go. And obviously that second choke point being the archway is the hardest one to get through as well. So St. Clair, the thing with Boise State, every single ultimate has found extreme value. For the side of St. Clair, we just really haven't seen it. And we saw Boise State, we saw Maxwell go on that high ground and didn't get addressed for maybe 15, 20 seconds. Just free damage, landing the blizzard, landing the freezes, and then just pillaring up when it needs to be safe. And so far, Boise State finding a way to get it done against St. Clair. St. Clair now, they're going to have to make a very, very strong push from this initial engagement. They're going to have to find some picks because if Boise State gets that counterattack going, it'll be very hard for St. Clair to dig out.
Yeah, now the May wall coming out there from Moxel, along with the wall behind to make sure that none of the Saints can escape, is able to find picks. And now, Matt Merck
bad
with 2 nice picks. Yeah, Arjun unfortunately squashed like a bug against the wall. And St. Clair once again sent back to spawn. Emeren is going to have a mailed of his own coming back. However, Boise, they were able to win that off the back of just the 1 ult, and now look at their ult economy. It's looking very, very good for them right now. Ooh, Plato is actually able to get taken out by Crime, and Hyun taken out as well. Now the mail coming out there from Emeren, it's getting a few. The D.Va bomb isn't quite enough. St. Clair looks like they're in solid control of this right now.
Yeah, they just ate Matt Merck's shatter. They separated him with that May wall, blocked the shatter completely, and then just a free kill there for the side of the Saints. Great job to come back there. And now the Saints, once again, though, Boise did get a little bit of back push on that payload. They sent it back a couple meters there, so St. Clair had to try to regain that progress. They're going to have to try to get this mobility going. Sweet, going to be playing up front there, trying to get ready for those early engagements. Does have the shadow ready in the pocket as well, so St. Clair, they're going to try to make a play around the shadow. The Deadeye should be online by the next fight as well, so St. Clair, this is going to be a massive fight. This is the hardest point in the entire map to probably push, and this will be the make or break time for the Saints.
For sure, yeah. Boise, their ult economy did get broken a little bit here, and now St. Clair are going for that early push using the speed Deadeye. Squeak has the shatter online. We'll have to see when he chooses to use it. It looks like he's waiting for that shield to go down. A nice flash there from Plato, though, is able to take out Squeak, but Crime trades out with a kill onto Matt Merck. Both teams missing their main tank now. Hyun trying to stay alive on point, but the Maywall is doing such a good job of cutting off healing from him. Now the lamp from Boise State is going to go down. Bagel's able to take out Arjun, but Emran it takes out with a kill onto the Diva mech. Now the beat from Redix is going to try and give St. Clair the sustain they need to stay alive, but unfortunately the grab didn't quite hit its target. It got blocked by Emran's May block there, which is very unfortunate, but they're going to try to keep this fight going using that May freeze, and it's with Squeak back on the front line, it does look like St. Clair might be able to make something happen here.
Yeah, Crime has Deadeye up again, and Squeak still has that Shatter in his pocket as well. Deadeye is going to get popped. Crime trying to find some value again, get a hold on to it, try to get this damage scale. Shield might go down in time, it will, and Crime's going to find the kill on Chosen, so one of the supports down. Now both supports down for Boise State. St. Clair, if there was ever a time to push, it is right now. One mech, two supports down. St. Clair have to get this push. They should get the time bonus, and now it'll come down to this last little stretch. Will the Saints be able to match it? They have a minute and a half, so a lot of time to play with, but not a lot of time to make mistakes.
For sure, yeah, and unfortunately St. Clair, they had to commit everything in order to get that cap there. Boise State, they're going to be holding on to their tank ults, so this next fight, it is going to be in Boise State's favor, unless St. Clair can find an opening pick here in the neutral. It's going to be on Hyun to see if he can get up to high charge and just put down a ton of pressure here onto the Diva and onto the back line. Some nice shots from Crime are going to take the back low, but not quite going to be able to find the kill. And now Boise State looks like they want to try and make an aggressive push here. A nice flash from Crime is going to put the Diva low, and now the Deadeye as well as the Shatter. We're going to see if they can combo these. Unfortunately, the speed boost isn't quite there, and the Deadeye doesn't find anything from Plato. Now St. Clair, Hyun is at high charge. Oh, but the Shatter from Matt Merck lays down 5. That was a huge Shatter. St. Clair, nothing they can do about that. They're going to be sent back to spawn, and they're in kind of dire straits now.
Yeah, now the Diva does have the ultimate online. The Immortality, the wall is online as well. St. Clair, no ultimates currently in the back pocket. Arjun and Crime very, very close. Hyun obviously just remech. Squeak far away from the Shatter. Red X not really close to the beat, so Boise State definitely has the advantage now. And only 25 seconds left. St. Clair, they obviously have more. I would say they have at least probably 2 chances with considering what the respawn is, but they have to make something happen right now. Crime, Deadeye, Arjun has the wall online. They have to push up and they have to make a play. And it looks like they're getting ready. They're going to make one final assault on this payload.
Yeah, that back window there from Boise State just burned even more time off the clock, and Arjun responds with a window of his own. A nice Maywall is going to block it. Oh, and Redix gets taken out before he's able to get up to the beat. That's going to be very, very unfortunate for Saints. Crime, seeing if he can make something happen with the Deadeye, is able to get a pick onto Plato and takes out Matt Mark as well. But unfortunately, Boise State is able to find picks of their own. Chosen up on that high ground, completely uncontested. Emran goes see if he can find something with the mail. He is, and Redix comes back with the beat. St. Clair might be able to turn this. All of the members of St. Clair are back now on this front line. Their takeout clear, and they're somehow able to continue holding on to this. So they're going to keep moving the payload.
No ults for Boise either. St. Clair might get some progress here, and if they can get a couple more picks here, they might be able to find a way to push this payload as well. Boise State say no ultimates online for either side at the moment, so this is going to come down mano a mano. Who can make the plays? Actually, Bagel very, very close to the beat, so Boise State, they're going to get a really nice buff in this last push, but as St. Clair's not able to win this fight, it could be good night for them, but now we're going to see, looks like the Mayfree's going to come through, the beat's going to get popped. Plato on this backline Bastion, just lighting up the members of the Saints, going to find the pick on the Squeak, and that is massive, and that'll be very, very detrimental for St. Clair if that pick is going to go through, and then Clair finds a kill as well. It looks like Boise will just hold on here. The Saints trying to hold on for dear life, but Boise State more than likely will close them out, and they will in an extremely back and forth matchup. Boise takes it 2-0 and knocks the Saints out of the NACE Starleague qualifiers.
Yeah, a very nice swap there from Boise on that final fight to the Bastion. You saw it was able to take out Squeak at the last minute, who was 95% to the Earth Shatter, which could have been the game-changing ult the Saints needed. Yeah. Some nice swaps there from Boise. And Matt Merck, he was coming up huge with the Shatters here. He was just laying down the Saints almost on cooldown. It's Shatters, they hit Pater every single time. Really nice stuff from him. And Saints, unfortunately, just not quite ready for the level of aggression that it seemed like Boise had today. You know, after playing against all those teams yesterday, it's like coming into a game like this, it's such a huge difference that I think it would catch anyone off guard. Yeah,
it's like facing a really tough pressure fighter. When someone's in your face, not really giving you any room to breathe, you have to be very selective with how you pick your spots, even though you do have to, you have to come back with the same level of aggression, but you have to be almost a little more finesse, because not that Boise throws caution to the wind, but they make it so chaotic in that trench that St. Clair, it seemed like they had a hard time either finding out who they wanted to key ultis on or when they wanted to drop utility. In Boise State, how many times did we see a 4 or 5 man Shatter followed up immediately by a second ultimate? The follow-up was the biggest thing for Boise. You'd see the ultimate, one would come through, it would get great value, and then the second and the third layer of utility and damage would come through, and that was what was really crippling the Saints as the game went on.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you also gotta look at the Saints and kind of wonder what the plan was with that Zarya pick, because I can't help but wondering if the Zarya maybe didn't get quite the value they were looking for. There's kind of a reason that Divas generally seen as like the hard meta in Overwatch run, right? Like you have so much utility with that eat, with that high ground contention. Like for example, you were talking about when Moxel was up on that high ground behind us, and he was just up there for like 15-20 seconds. At the end of the day, the reason for that is because we don't have a diva who can fly up there and contest that, right? Like, you're not going to have the Zarya just run around the map, just get up to that high ground. So, unfortunately, they kind of miss out on some of that value. And, you know, Boise State, they recognize that utility from Saints was missing, so they made the most of those high grounds. Like, especially like Chosen on this third point there, he was up on the high ground pretty much the entire time, just raining down damage and heals. Just, you know, you got to give respect to Boise. They recognized the openings that Saints gave them, and they played them, exploited them really, really well.
Yeah, and that was something we said going into the matchup. Boise, very, very smart team. They're akin to how Saints want to do things, and clearly they had a really good strategy because, as we said, the Saints, they have never, at least this season, they have not been tested or like, they have not had Kings Row played like that against them a single time with the level of pressure. Even on the defensive end, Boise on defense immediately 5-stack, tried to push St. Clair back into the spawn. They said right away, like, we're not going to give you guys an inch on either side of the ball here, and just such a good job by them to make those adjustments. And St. Clair, they had a couple good moments. They got it really, really close. I mean, it was just a couple feet away there at the end, but ultimately Boise just, once again, the ultimate value, I think, was the difference in this one. I think you said the Zarya, like, the Zarya ulti, we only saw it maybe get used once or twice, and not with Supreme value. I think a Diva would have been like a more generally good pick because you're not relying on like one huge moment to make plays. You can clear up those top spaces because we saw Boise, they were just taking map control and taking a bunch of space, and the Saints just didn't really have a way to clear it.
For sure, yeah. Overall, it is going to be a tough loss for the Saints here. Unfortunately, I think this might make it a bit hard for them to qualify. We'll have to.
I think it's single elimination, so I think they're. I think it's all over.
So it is going to be the end of the run for the Saints here, unfortunately. But, you know, HuFest is still next week.
LAN.
And, it is going to be on LAN. And, you know, I think this could potentially be a good loss for the Saints to really learn from, because going into HuFest, pretty much every team is going to be at Boise level or above, right? Like, you're not going to have any easy matches in HuFest. So, you know, this loss here, I think this is a great opportunity for Saints to go back, study the VODs, learn from it, find out what exactly went wrong, and, you know, you go into HuFest looking better than ever, and you put up a really good showing there. Yeah,
sometimes a loss isn't always, you know, you've got to hang your head on it. Very strong team, and especially, going on to LAN, going to next week to HuFest. I think it's a good, like, a tune-up game. Now they have things they know they can fix, because if you go 6-0, you're not really, like, it's going to be a lot harder to find mistakes, so you might think like, oh, the mistakes aren't really, they don't mean as much. But when you get a game where you kind of get handed to you a little bit and you realize like, okay, these are some of the flaws we have in this system, and then they're going to tune up, retool, and go to LAN next week. But as you said, that'll be it for us today. Unfortunately, the NACE final Showdown qualifier is over for the Saints. They do go 6-2 overall as far as map wins, so pretty solid run overall. Came in as the 2 seed. Boise came in as a 7 seed. Slight upset there, but Boise, phenomenal team. They're going to move on in the bracket as well. But we thank you guys all for watching tonight, and we hope you guys all have a good one.
Take care.